Everyone, it's Yvonne here to do the reading for the lovely sign of Cancer. Cancer, before I go any further, as I always do, let's have a chat about your astrological chart. So the Cancer that you're probably watching this for is your Cancer sun. I really love that everybody started putting up their combinations because I think it's so important you do this to really understand where the planets were when you were born. But if I were to say to you, what sign are you? The majority of people will answer their sun sign, which is Cancer. So Cancer can be anywhere in your chart. It can be in your moon, your rising, your Venus, whatever. But it was somewhere more than likely in your chart when you were born. I think the most interesting thing I found out was that I have a lot of fire in my chart, but no fire in my main signs, which I think is a little bit crazy. I have a lot of Sagittarius energy. But yeah, so that when I first did it, I was really quite surprised at how much fire I had. But anyway, so this is only one aspect of you, which means that you have a lot of other signs you could look at, a lot of other aspects. So if, for example, you are interested, then Google natal chart or birth chart. Some places will allow you to download a report, which is awesome. So you can see how those planets affect the areas in your birth chart, and you can learn a little bit more about yourself. I guess it gives you a much better picture. This is why sometimes when somebody's a Cancer here and somebody's a Cancer here and they're so distinctly different people, then you could probably have a look at their charts and understand why they are different. It can also mean that, their planets in their chart are all water and your planets in your chart are, predominantly fire, which also makes a lot of difference. So whatever it is, it's really interesting. So I highly recommend you do that. But for today, we're working with anybody who has Cancer placement that is drawn to this reading. Okay. This is really interesting. I'm using a different deck here, but the Devil and the Hanged Man came out in the What's Cracking reading today, and they've just jumped out on me here. I feel like sometimes there are things about ourselves that we need to pay attention to that are hidden away in our shadow. So when we talk about the shadow self, Carl Jung raised that quite a lot. And what he meant by it was there are aspects of ourselves we do not show to the public. Why? Because we are embarrassed, because we are ashamed, or we feel guilty because we are that way, so we keep things under wraps. So say, for example, somebody has said to you early in your life that you are, I got too sensitive. So what do? We try to toughen up. And that don't work because if you're sensitive, you're sensitive. But I spent a lot of years trying to be tough, and it would just meant when people met me, they probably were thinking I wasn't being true to who I am because I'm trying to hide away an aspect of myself that is so important. I've heard people being told they're too much, they're too loud, whatever. So if we start hiding aspects of ourselves away, then what starts to happen is we do not show a legitimate side of ourselves to the world. There's more cards coming through. So there's a real energy here of needing to make some changes around yourself, quite possibly around the things that you don't show to the world because you feel ashamed of them, or you don't feel, you can show people. If somebody says something to you when you're a kid, it sticks really hard. So you may have been wandering around for a long time not actually knowing, because if you're ashamed enough or you feel guilty enough, you may place that particular aspect of yourself so way down that you don't ever show it, and you may have forgotten you had it. So I always say when I'm talking to people, what did you like to do as a child? What part of yourself did you put away that you felt you didn't need as an adult? Like I can remember I loved climbing trees. I loved, we had rope swings in our forest. I used to go to the forest by myself and swing on the rope swings and wander around the forest. And I was so adventurous and so I hated being at home. So it was really a good escape for me. And I had a tremendous imagination. So, I loved being out and about doing that. So when I got older, I got scared of everything. Everything made me nervous. you know, I had to really work, you know, my 20s and 30s to get myself out of that energy of being so fearful of everything. What happened? What happened in between? Was I so brazen that somebody said to me, pull it in, Yvonne, don't show it to the world, or what? But I know that the things I liked doing when I was a kid, I put away before I even became an adult. Is that a good thing? Maybe for some things it is, but now when somebody says to me, oh, you're a bit old to do that, I feel like slapping them, quite honestly. So I'm not a violent person at all. But I do think that we tend to sort of put away those things because we're ashamed or because we're fearful. Maybe that does scare us now, being so adventurous. All right, let's see what's happening. We're using the Modern Witch Tarot for your reading today. Let's see where we're up to. Okay, so we're starting with Temperance. So if you haven't watched the What's Cracking Today, Temperance was a big player in that. The Temperance card talks about vibration. It talks about us being in a place where we are in balance, body, mind, soul. You can get there. It takes a little bit to be completely balanced. And I think that when we're not, those are the times when we question, why is everything so good in my life, but I can't get the job I want? Why is everything great in my life, but I can't get the romantic relationship I want? So there is a real need for us to work on our own balance. When the Temperance card comes around for me, it says that you're achieving that and things are starting to move. And that's when I feel like you're best placed to manifest what you want. So we definitely have that beautiful energy followed by the Ten of Cups here, which is gorgeous. So there is something here that's coming to make you very happy. And the universe here, because the Six of Pentacles is here, which is again a card of balance. I don't know, she doesn't. I think in the traditional tarot, she does hold scales. It's another card of balance, but this is what you put in, you get out. So if you've got an attitude of everything's going to drop in my lap, it may do, but it's more than likely if you're not putting some sort of energy out to the universe that you're not getting it back what you really deserve. So when the Six of Pentacles comes around, I feel like, especially with this card here, look at this, Nine of Pentacles. So there's a real energy that whatever it is you're trying to bring about, whether that is a relationship, whether it is a job, whether it's just feeling comfortable financially, you are already manifesting because you're getting to the point where you're attracting, or you've sort of dipped into the law of attraction and you're starting to bring back towards you what you were meant to have. Now, if this is the case, what I've been talking about is really relevant here. Maybe when you were a kid, you were so adventurous, you went after anything, you didn't get fearful, like you went for it. So if you thought you wanted it, you just had a go at it. I always talk about my ability to manifest when I was a kid because I was so good at it. You know, I'd think about something and within minutes it would happen, even if it was only the simplest thing. And I remember testing myself out and it was just great. Like I'd think about Dalmatian and Dalmatian would come around the corner. I'd think about seeing somebody that I hadn't seen for a while and they would come around. I'd think about, you know, having money for something and somebody would give me some money for something. It was crazy. But I think we get so blocked in our adult lives that we forget our ability to do things. All right, let's see where we're going. So we've got a brand new beginning coming through with the Fool, being followed by the Lovers. I feel like for many of you, this is about love because you do have an offer of love coming towards you here. And there is some sort of offer on the horizon. I feel like that may be your first date. Definitely. To me, this feels like a first date thing. If it isn't a first date, it's a brand new beginning. Definitely. So I do have Gemini energy coming here with the Lovers card. Let's put some more. We have Leo energy with the Sun. I note that we have a lot of major arcanas coming through today. Five of Swords here with the Judgment card. You know, often when the Judgment card and the Five of Swords come out together, I feel like maybe this person's offered before and you weren't ready, or maybe you asked this person before and they weren't ready. So there is a really strong feeling here that something is coming around that made you happy in the past, but it didn't quite get off the ground. And there's some feeling of something being offered but not being uptaken. But I feel like this time around, you're either in the right place or the person that's offering is in a better place. All right, so we have the Empress coming through, the hair there. Just grab it. Oh, Two of Cups. See, it's all written all over this one. We have the Two of Cups and we have the Queen of Pentacles hitting the top of the reading the same way it did in the What's Cracking reading. So maybe the What's Cracking reading was a bit of a love reading, but I just didn't get that real feeling from it. Okay, Two of Cups. We have the Knight of Cups. We have the Sun. We have somebody coming in to make an offer, but this time you're taking that path. You're taking a leap of faith. So I feel like here that an offer was made in the past, whether you asked this person out and they said no, or whether they asked you out and you weren't ready, there seems to be this feeling that it's coming around again. Does it feel like a relationship? More than likely not. It feels like one of those situations where perhaps you wanted to get something off the ground, but your person wasn't really into it at that time. I don't feel that they were in another situation. It doesn't feel like that sort of energy. It does feel like perhaps timing wasn't right with that Temperance card. But I feel like it is this time around. So let's have a quick look. So this tells me that somebody is, or two people are obviously here in the same energy now. So maybe it just wasn't quite right. You know, it's really interesting because I can remember, you know, having a friend that I really didn't have any attraction for. And then all of a sudden it happened. And you're like, why is it that, you know, sometimes you don't feel the attraction for somebody, but perhaps somewhere down the track something starts to happen. And that's what it sort of feels like to me. I do feel here now, whatever you've been putting out to the universe, whatever you've been stressing about is about to come your way with that Nine of Pentacles. And we do have the Two of Wands there. So this is an opportunity for you, Cancer, to move in a new direction. I feel like whoever I'm speaking to here, it does feel like to me that love is here. It feels like, quite honestly, that this person has been around before, but I'm not sure that it got off the ground before. So it could be a friendship with that Two of Cups. But the Queen of Pentacles, I see you looking at this like, this is what I wanted. This is where I wanted to go. This was what I wanted. So to me, I'm just going to put another couple of cards on it because the Empress card is here. It makes Eight of Pentacles with a Six of Swords. Very interesting. Knight of Wands. I feel like somehow or another, well, it could be for some of you, you met a person through your work, which has come up a little bit lately too. But I don't feel like it's like that. To me, it's like you've done the work. You're moving in a new direction with that Six of Swords and going towards some sort of offer here. Something you wanted is definitely coming your way. I don't feel that it's going to pass you by this time. Let's put it like that. If it is a new relationship for you, maybe you've crossed paths with this person before. Now I'm going to read a card from the Wisdom of the Hidden Realms. I absolutely adore this deck, but it is often quite complicated in the reading. All right, we have the Lady of Lightning. Oh, look at that. Surprises, sometimes shock, and a total paradigm shift. Card 35. I've gone straight to it. As an ally, the Lady of Lightning brings powerful forces of change into your life. She tells you to expect a sudden shift in your circumstances. Perhaps a situation you weren't anticipating arises and offers you the opportunity of a lifetime, or a series of aha moments culminates in a pivotal flash of insight, causing everything to change just like that. Maybe someone enters your life and pushes you to new heights. You may have a brilliant idea that hits you like lightning. Be prepared, change is imminent, and a total paradigm shift may be upon you. Don't resist the changes, as this kind of lightning isn't something you want to fight. Great things are happening when the Lady of Lightning appears. So I feel like somehow or another, maybe this person asking you out is a bit of a shock. Maybe they, you know, you've been interested in them for a long time, but maybe they weren't giving you what you were after. All right, I will leave you with that. Thank you.